gets the snap. He scrambles around, throws it back corner of the end zone. Santonio with a touchdown! Santonio holds! I don't know how he did it!
What a throw! What a catch! What a game!
Wilson, quick throw, and it's good. Intercepted! Intercepted to Malcolm Butler! Butler has it at the one! Malcolm Butler stepped in front of the throw! And the Patriots have possession!
Tatum drives down and throws it down! Wow! Brown to Smart, Smart to Tatum. Sets, fires, three-pointer, bang! Jason Tatum has electrified the crowd.
Good evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time it is for you. Welcome back to the 10th episode of the JM Touchdown Show. Today is June 19th. It's a Sunday. It's actually Juneteenth, I believe. And today, we have a very sad topic to start off with. But joining me today to talk about this topic is also a fan of this team. And that is Mike Kennedy of KennedyNFL. Now, Mike.
Joe, our beloved Celtics. We put off this podcast for a couple days just so we could, get all our tears out of the way. But they couldn't pull through. They were up 2-1 in the NBA Finals, but
Game 4 at home.
Steph Curry happened, and a lot of turnovers. Of turnovers happened. Andrew Wiggins, Derek White, it's the whole bench. Pretty much everybody for the Celtics not named Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, and Robert Williams happened. So, Warriors, NBA champions for the fourth time during this stretch of time with this core.
8 years. 4 and 8 years.
What's your initial takeaway? What are your...
My hatred for Derek White is at full-blown effect. Peyton Pritchard, get him off the team. He played bad.
You don't have to do your apology to Derek White. You can have another rant if you want.
No, I'm not apologizing to him. He had 3 good games in the playoffs, and everyone thought he was good again. No, Derek White is just not good at offensive basketball at all. He's not a bad defender, but you tell that man to shoot a jump shot, and he's like me shooting.
Which I'm assuming is not very good.
No. Peyton Pritchard, we get it. You have handles. You think you're like who are those guys on YouTube? Like the Bone Collector or whoever. No, dude. No, you're bad at basketball.
He's had 2.7 points per game on 30% shooting in this series, and he was 3 of 14 from 3.
He was bad the whole play. He had one playoff game.
6.
He had one good game in the playoffs when he scored like 20 in a blowout.
He's like a front runner. Like, he'll hit those killer threes when they're already up by like 15. But if you're counting on him for meaningful minutes in a close game,
no, it's not happening.
Like, I love him, but
no, I really
kind
don't
of a
love
meme
him.
player.
I really don't. Like,
I love the idea, Peyton, like, we're already up, but like as an actual player,
no. Grant Williams, you suck absolute dog at basketball. But Giannis can't post you, but like friggin' Klay Thompson will mix you, and it's Klay Thompson who's washed now. Not completely, but he's on his way there. Jason Tatum. We should have gotten one more turnover for Kobe. Let's go, Kobe. Yeah. I got you today. Yeah, your number was blocked after that series.
It was a disappearing act, if you will, across the board.
Steph Curry, man, respect. Andrew Wiggins, respect. Draymond Green, I hope nobody loves you. Off the court, Draymond, you're chill, but on the court, God, I hope your family does not love you. Wiggins, you're chill. Klay, like talking about our fans. He's talking about our fans, and he was saying LeBron was crying. And it's like, all right, dude, remember what you say.
Hypocrite there.
Yep. I'm talking very monotone because,
you can let it out if you want. If you want to shed a few tears, get us a few extra clicks.
I wasn't even sad when we lost. We didn't deserve to win. It was it wasn't like when the Patriots lost to the Eagles. It wasn't
like a sad. It's more like an anger.
Yeah, it was more like
an annoyance. Like,
all right, we didn't deserve it, but oh my god,
yeah, like
I have like
so
no
many
real
times.
basketball take.
Yeah, like everybody's like, oh, what can they do to improve? I'm like, we've been saying it the entire playoff run. Stop turning the ball over. Like, there's no big, like, they need to add, a lot of people saying they need to add a ball handler. But really, it's just stupid mistakes.
They'll
from
drive
players.
in and then do terrible kick-out passes, go up for a foul, get stolen.
Throw it directly to
Just
defenders.
Jaylen Brown
or just
dribbling
running
off
directly
of his foot.
into them.
Look, Jaylen Brown was like our best player the whole playoffs, especially this series. But my God, that man cannot dribble. It is so annoying I could dribble better than him. Not really, but you know what I'm saying.
The fact that it's comparable.
The fact that I can even say that with a straight face.
Like, and Tatum, like, so many times, like, we joke about the whole Kobe thing a lot, but
Oh, Kobe,
so
let's
many
go,
times
Kobe.
he does just go for style points. Like, he tries to make those difficult Kobe shots.
Tatum
He pump
cannot make
fakes
a
and
layup off the backboard if his life depended on it.
He pump fakes instead of just letting
he can
it
make
fly.
any layup that doesn't. I'm sorry to interrupt you. He can make any layup that doesn't hit backboard, like a floater, any of that stuff, or just like a finger roll. It's going in. If it hits the backboard, it's 10 feet across.
It's
the court.
always those fancy layups instead of just like going hard at the rack and getting a foul. But like we said, you can't do that like Jaylen Brown just running in a straight line, barreling people over. It's just so aggravating because the talent is clearly there for all these players. And we saw it from January through May. Like, they weren't making these same mistakes. It's not like, I mean, they were for a bit, but it wasn't to this level. They averaged, 12.4 turnover percentage in the regular season, which was a little above league average. That increased to 13.8 in the playoffs in general, and then 15.1% in the finals. 15.1% turnovers. That's just horrendous. And the biggest thing that annoyed me in this playoff series is they could not win the non-Curry minutes. Like, he was dominating the entire way. Sorry, he sits for 2-3 minute stretches,
dude.
And they couldn't. In back-to-back games, they gave up 10-0 runs when Curry was off the court.
We should have won Game 6, and I will fight for that until I die. Do you know why? Because when we came back, we were down 10. The Warriors were just so cold, but it was we make it, they make it. We miss, they miss. It was like no one could get a lead, and that was just brutal. That was brutal basketball to watch.
They just kept matching Like, they could never have a run of their own. They would either match them. Like, it was Horford 3, Curry 3, Horford 3, Curry 3.
We had 2 runs that like got us within, but besides, like when it got close,
yeah, it was like 9-8, but they could never get farther than that because then they just keep trading baskets. And then when they stopped making them, then they would let Curry, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins hit these insane. Like, Wiggins hit a step back in the corner. It's just, and don't even get me started. They left Al Horford guarding Steph on the perimeter in the fourth quarter of an elimination game. And we all know what Steph Curry does to big men on the perimeter.
ask Kevin Love.
It's just the drop coverages.
Look, the drop.
So
I
many
do not disagree with the drop coverage, and I'll tell you why. You drop on Steph Curry, you allow him to get hot, but then that also means that no one else can really do anything, because everyone else is like if you were to blitz Curry, the big man just gonna, whether it's Looney or Draymond, they're gonna cut in. If it's Draymond, especially if he gets the ball in the paint, he doesn't even have to shoot it. He's a good passer. You can just pass it out. So if you drop on Curry, Curry's gonna go off. Yes, we know that, but you weren't gonna stop that anyways.
I agree. I just think at certain points when he was going off, maybe shy away from it a little bit. Like, people are saying, like, that was why they lost. That wasn't why they lost the series, but maybe mix it up a little bit instead of just every single time.
I get that. Know? Yeah. But
let's be a little bit positive. This team, the Celtics, obviously it's a disappointing loss, especially with how they looked at the end, but this team has been ahead of schedule every single year, like, since the Tatum era. Besides, 2019 was the one, like, disappointing year.
2020. Right?
I feel like the Eastern Conference Finals in 2020 was disappointing, but...
Well, I'm saying 2021 when we got bounced in the first round.
I was injuries. Like, I don't really I just throw that one away, basically.
Yeah.
But and then this playoff run, they beat pretty much the 3 consensus best teams in the East going into the playoffs, what everybody said. The Nets, obviously, we know they weren't really that great, but a lot of people were predicting to win this series, let alone anything else.
Yeah.
And then the Bucks, the defending champions, and then the number 1 seed in the East, the Heat. And Tatum played great in those series. He had great closeout games even. Like, you can't take those games away. Like, they still happened. It was a horrendously disappointing finals, but he was first team All-NBA for a reason. And I'm sure everybody's seen those posts comparing his stats in his first finals to LeBron's in 2007. Granted, it was different quality teams, but also look at LeBron's second finals in 2011 with the Heat, which were even worse. So, obviously, I'm not saying he's that level of player, but you can bounce back from having a terrible series in the finals. You can't get complacent, though. People always say, oh, they're young, they'll get back. We've seen so many times.
Can't say that.
I wrote an article about the NFL when this was being said about the Bills and a couple other teams in the playoffs this year. It's across every sport. Like, you can't say that because you don't know. Something could happen. Like, look at the Thunder. We all know that's like the most prominent example.
I can't believe
They'll
the
be back
sad
in
music is still
2012.
playing right now.
It's on repeat. But yeah, just the fact that Tatum was this young as a team's best player in the finals. Really, the only other examples in my history you can see are LeBron in 2007 and Dwayne Wade in 2006. So, if they keep their heads on straight and they take the right mindset and improve on their actual like internal flaws, they should be back. But I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Good team.
I'll say it was a
Celtics.
fun ride.
It was. I enjoyed it. I thought we were gonna win in 7, but we lost 3 consecutive games to close out the series. All right. Well,
I'll give a little shout out to the Warriors and Steph Curry. Like they won before Kevin Durant.
Not Draymond Green though.
Okay, I'll let him slide. They won before Kevin Durant, they won with Kevin Durant, and now they won after Kevin Durant. You got to give them their props. You can't move the goalposts any longer. There's nothing you can say. Stephen Curry was a Finals MVP. He dominated. He was so clearly the best player in the series. Like, the drop-off between him and the second best player was enormous. Warriors had a 115.8 offensive rating with him on the floor, and it was 88.6 with him off the floor. I've been saying it for a while. He's got an argument for the best point guard of all time with Magic Johnson. This only strengthens that. A lot of people were saying if they win this finals, he'll finally surpass Isaiah Thomas, which he was already way ahead of him.
Only old heads think that Steph Curry's not better than them. What can Magic Johnson do besides rebound that Steph Curry better? What can he do better than Steph Curry besides rebound?
And if Magic Johnson wasn't 6'6", like, how would we look at it?
Kareem also deserved that Finals MVP in Magic's rookie year, but that's a different story.
And yeah, same with Curry. He deserved it in 2015 and arguably in 2018 as well. So I'm just glad. Obviously, I don't think he needed to prove anything to anyone, but those stupid narratives out there can finally die for good. And also, fun fact, Steve Kerr has now won 12% of all the NBA Finals, 9 out of 76. Because he's won 4 as a coach and 5 as a player. So,
damn.
I feel like that's all I've got on the NBA Finals. Because
good job, Warriors minus number 23. How do you not hate Draymond? Like,
he's annoying sometimes, but no, I don't hate him. I think he's entertaining, and I think a lot of people underrate him as a player. Obviously, at least this year, his offensive game is really
horrible. It is so bad.
Like, the fact that he hit 1 3-pointer and Mike Breen was like, he's feeling it.
Yeah, dude, right?
And I'm like, he's not wrong.
He made 2 3-pointers and a mid-range jump shot.
At that point, crazy. I was like, they don't deserve to win.
Yeah.
Anyways, sad series, sad season.
I still just wish
but-
we had one more turnover as a team for Kobe. Would have gotten us to 24 turnovers. Tatum would have fulfilled his wish for representing Kobe, finally. Yeah, that's all I got.
Anyways,
I love the Jason Tatum Kobe memes, dude. They're awesome.
I can tell you've mentioned it at least
so funny.
76 times so far.
Oh my god. I'm pulling one up on my phone and showing it to the camera. It's gonna be flipped. Oh wait, no, I can flip it. Want to see something smart?
Let's see it.
How do you do it?
Oh. I see some pictures. I can't read the words, but it's solid. Describe it to the audience.
We're down 30 in the finals. We are down 30 in the finals. Let's go. I love Kobe. Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Found that one on TikTok. But anyways, I'm done. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Let's talk about a better sport, all right? And a better team.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Continue, though.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know what's going on with Joe currently.
Well, no, you said better team, and so I thought I just had to look to my right. And
Yeah, I don't see anything over there. I don't see any better teams. I mean, both of them got eliminated in the wild card round in disastrous fashion. So, anyways, the Steelers, they re-signed safety Minkah Fitzpatrick to a 4-year contract extension worth about $18.4 million per year, nearly $73 million overall, with $36 million guaranteed at signing, and he is now officially the highest paid safety in NFL history. Joe, I'll throw it to you.
Market-setting contract. I mean, this really helps out Jesse Bates and the Derwin Jameses of the world.
And it really hurts the Bengals and the Chargers of the world.
And hell, even maybe the Bills, because I'm not sure what Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde's contracts are, but those are two phenomenal players, top 5 at each safety position. I mean, Minkah's a great player. He definitely deserved this. He's, like the second best safety in the league, would you say? I got Derwin number 1 no matter what.
Yeah, probably.
Like
So I'd
second
say,
or third, really depends.
Minkah's the best free safety. At least.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, he definitely deserves the contract. I don't know when Derwin James is up. I don't know when Jesse Bates is up, but I'm pretty sure it's within the next 2 years. So, when those two are free agents, they're going to get more. Maybe not Jesse, but they're going to get... Derwin is for sure getting $20 million a year. I believe so, at least. Jesse will probably get a very similar contract to Minkah, maybe like $1 million or $2 million more. But that's just because the salary cap will go up, and, he did set the market. Kind of like every other position this offseason. Quarterback, you got Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
You got Deshaun Watson. You got Aaron Rodgers. You got whoever else. You got the wide receivers. You got Tyreek Hill, $30 million a year.
Pretty much everybody.
Devontae Adams,
Devontae
Cooper
Adams.
Kupp, DJ Moore had a good contract. I can't name anyone else right now, but I know there's others. So this is a really good extension for Minkah. Obviously, numbers like that are never good for the team, but you have to do it when it's a player of Minkah Fitzpatrick's caliber.
Yeah, and Steelers fans always cry about the team, like penny pinching and stuff like that. So now it's funny, now when they do this, people are saying like it's too much or whatever. That's like TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, and Minkah Fitzpatrick are really the only premium contracts on this team because they have a lot of rookie deals still at play, especially on offense.
Deontay Johnson's coming up, though.
Yeah, he's coming up.
Is he an OTA slash... is he going to OTAs or minicamp?
Not yet. He's not, like, officially, like, holding out, but it's looking like he will.
Okay.
So, I don't know if they're going to get him done just yet. I think they might wait, maybe franchise him, see how this year plays out.
Yeah, Deontay's definitely a player I would rather franchise than give an extension right now. So we've seen a lot of inconsistent play from Deontay in the past. Great player, but I mean, I know you say drops are like however you call it. I'm just gonna fluky, but I mean, he has had dropping issues in the past, and even a little bit better than usual, but better still last season, and still put up over 1,200.
It was around about there. I don't remember
like
the
1,100,
exact number.
1,200 yards, with Big Ben at quarterback. So I mean, he definitely will deserve an extension, but I would say, given his past and given his one box score numbers good season, because I know the year before that he was really good, like getting open, but just stuff like that.
And yeah, I know a lot of teams are like hesitant to give smaller wide receivers big contracts. I know the Steelers are like the one team who had great results from giving a smaller wide receiver a big contract, but I don't think it's a huge deal, but it is something to keep in the back of your mind.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's stupid, but anyways.
I wanted to just talk a little bit about Minkah, to what he's meant to this team, because when he was traded to Pittsburgh in early 2019, how he completely revitalized the Steelers defense, you can't overstate that enough.
You can't put it into words, really.
I will try.
Well, no, because I'm like completely agreeing with you. Like their defense before was a little average, and now it's like top 3.
At first,
5.
When they traded for Minkah, it was 2 games into the 2019 season. The Steelers had gotten blown out by the Patriots, and their defense had gotten torched by Seattle. They were 0-2, and Ben had just been lost for the season. So I was a little against the trade. I wavered back and forth.
What was the trade again?
They gave up a first and I think a couple other picks for Minkah. I thought the Steelers were just going to go in the tank at that point because Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges were their quarterbacks and their defense looked terrible. But from week 3 onwards, they had the best defense in the NFL, mostly because of Minkah. Throughout the entire 2018 season, so the year before they traded for him, Steelers safeties combined forced 2 turnovers. In Minkah's first half of action against the 49ers, he matched that total. He forced 2 turnovers in one half. In the 2 games without Fitzpatrick that year, they gave up 8.9 yards per pass attempt. Without him, 5.6. They went from 30.5 points per game to 18.9, 445 yards per game to 304.1. Obviously, small sample size, but his impact was felt across the season. He became the first Steeler to intercept 4 more passes in a season since Troy Polamalu 9 years earlier in 2010 when he won Defensive Player of the Year. That 9-year drought was the longest without such a player in NFL history. Fitzpatrick also became the first Steelers defender since William Gay to score 2 touchdowns in a season in 2014, and he was the first Steelers safety to do it since Carnell Link in 1996.
It took them 9 years to get more than 4 picks on a player. For a player? My Lord.
Any defensive player, any position.
Jesus. Keep going.
And he had a lot of game-changing plays. Like he almost single-handedly won a couple games by himself against the Colts. He had a 14-point swing with a 96-yard pick six versus the Colts when they were driving, and the Steelers only won that game because the Colts missed a field goal at the end. And he had a 43-yard fumble return score and a 5-point win versus the Rams. That year, the Steelers led the league in takeaways with 38, and that was a huge improvement from the previous year where they only had 15, which
38?
ranked 29th. Yeah.
That's like 2 and like a third a game.
Look at you, little math major.
No.
But he was one of the best instant impact trades in NFL history. He was first team All-Pro that year. He was first team All-Pro in 2020. Last year, his play dipped a little bit, but it was mostly because the rest of the defense around him slipped. A lot of injuries, a lot of players just gone. And so he only had 2 interceptions, but he had 124 tackles, 84 solo tackles, which was 12th in the NFL, and everybody around him were all linebackers. But that's because they had one of the worst run defenses in the league. We saw it in that game against the Vikings, where he was the last line of defense, and he saved so many he had so many touchdown-saving tackles. Hopefully with the addition of Miles Jack, and hopefully with a year under Devin Bush's belt after he's coming back from the injury, hopefully he can return to 2019 and 2020 for him, because last year he was quite literally the worst linebacker in the NFL. I posted a stat. He ranked 744th out of 744 defensive players in run defense grade from PFF last year. And Joe Schobert and Robert Spillane were not much better. So hopefully with an improved front 7, Minkah won't have to be so physical because he's at his best when he's like a free roaming safety in coverage. But even with all the increased physicality and in the box play from Fitzpatrick last year. He still had a lot of season-saving plays, like against Baltimore in the final regular season game. The Ravens, it was a tie game, and the Ravens were driving with under a minute to go. Tyler Huntley threw a perfect pass on the sideline to Marquise Brown, who had 2 feet down, but Minkah ran across the field to perfectly place a Peanut Tillman-esque punch on the ball to force an incompletion. And had it been completed, the Ravens would have had the ball at the Steelers' 48-yard line with 25 seconds and 2 timeouts left. They likely would have won the game right there instead of going to overtime where the Steelers won, and the Steelers would have missed the playoffs and the Ravens would have been in. The year before, Trey Norwood had a game-stealing pick on Baker Mayfield, but it was caused by Minkah running into Austin Hooper's arms, causing the ball to pop up in the air. Against the Titans, he had 14 tackles, which was the most by any Steelers defensive back since Bryant McFadden in 2010. I know you love all these stats. But a lot of, this is the last one for Minkah. It was last year for Minkah Fitzpatrick was the perfect example of how first impressions can last. From weeks 1 to 3 last year, he had a PFF grade of 29.2, which was worst among 65 safeties. But from week 4 through the Super Bowl, he had a 71.2 grade, which was middle of the pack. And from weeks 1 to 2, he gave up a 158.3 passer rating when he was targeted. Perfect passer rating. And from weeks 3 to 18, it was 38.3. So over 100-point difference. And that's mostly because they were using him in the slot a lot early on in the season, and they put him in more of his natural role. So I think in 2022, with him in more of his natural role with health and improvement across the board on the defense, we'll see more of his 2019-20 form. Back to you, Joe.
One thing I just want to say about Minkah. So as everyone knows, my second favorite team is the Miami Dolphins. When I saw that they traded him in week 3 of that year, I was livid. I was like, why? What did he... It's his second year, right? Yeah, second year?
Yeah, that was his second year.
They traded your first-round pick the year prior in the second year for a first-round pick, amongst other things. But still, it's like, I don't know what they got with that pick, but my God, was it definitely not anywhere near Minkah Fitzpatrick. Why should it have been like
I think it was Austin Jackson. I think it was.
Oh, my God. Dude, No, one was worse than that when the Dolphins drafted Charles Harris over T.J. Watt. I have a video, and I'm like, who? I was like, T.J. Watt, Reuben Foster. Whoever else was available at the time. There was someone else.
Charles Harris. I can't think straight.
I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so screw the Dolphins for that. Hey, but they're going to be good this year, so whatever. Hopefully the Pats are better, but I have a weird thing. I hate that I like 2 teams in the AFC East.
You bring it up like every podcast, and it's still weird every time you mention it.
It's just happened. I don't know.
And was it because of Jarvis
Landry?
Landry?
Yes, 100%. Yes, the only reason.
You don't even have that attachment anymore.
Well, then I started like the other players, and then I just got invested. Like, I loved Kenyon Drake, even though he sucked.
I mean, I kind of had a thing for the 2007 Dolphins that went 1-15, so I get it. I really loved Greg Camarillo and Cleo Lemon. All
right, well, speaking about the Dolphins, let's talk about a former Miami Dolphin. Robert Quinn is holding out of mandatory minicamp right now. What are your thoughts?
I feel like the Bears have no choice but to trade him. Those are my thoughts. Like,
they're the most poverty franchise right now.
Like, it's weird to say that about a player who just had 18.5 sacks, set the franchise record. What was that?
That was a chair. That was so aggressively loud. It's never been that loud before.
But yeah, like you said, they're even with Quinn on the roster, the Bears have a bottom 5 roster in the NFL.
God, yeah, they're terrible.
It's not even arguable. And he's, 32 years old. He does not fit into their plans at all.
What's his contract situation right now?
He has a $12.9 million salary this year.
Well, I mean, like,
I think he has 3 years left.
Okay. Yeah, he's got to get traded or cut or something.
Yeah, the acquiring team will get a 3-year, $39.6 million deal, but with no guarantees. So his value will never be high.
So what I think, so like he was saying, his value will never be higher than it is right now because he just had a 18.5 sack season. But I want to talk about teams that I think he could fit in and what you think a trade for him would look like. Mike, talk. I don't care.
Thank you. You had to say my name.
So what do you think he'll be traded for?
I think that at best he'll get a third, fourth round pick.
I think a third and a sixth.
Yeah, it's something like that. I think a contending team, it's not.
Nelson
it's
Spruce,
worth it
maybe
to get
add him in there.
Are we gonna reference on every single podcast?
Even my own channel.
We gotta have some running bits. But yeah, the first team that came to mind for Robert Quinn for me is maybe he could return to Dallas. He was there for the 1 year in 2019. He had 11.5 sacks in 14 games, and they lost Randy Gregory. So opposite DeMarcus Lawrence right now is Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, or second rounder Sam Williams. So
that's not.
There's a. What'd you say?
I mean, they have a second round rookie. I mean, he might be something, but I get what you're saying.
But like for right now,
you want
a contending.
Send him to the Pats.
Here we go. But yeah,
Who's
I think
our best pass rusher? Like Chase Winovich is gone. He kind of sucked.
Matt Judon.
Well, yeah, but like I meant outside of him. Come on, because like seriously, we have Matt Judon and Theatric Y still on the team. I don't even know.
I feel like we say the Patriots as a good landing spot for every player on here, but they all make sense because
it really does. It makes sense. Like Odell makes sense.
DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf. Robert
the greatest
Quinn.
wide receiver.
Ew. Are there any corners available like right now? It's like AJ Terrell want to get traded.
I haven't heard any rumblings of that. That's probably
he should just be
thing.
like, "Oh, let me trade me to the Patriots or something." That'd be cool. Oh, if we had AJ Terrell. AJ Terrell in a Bill Belichick defensive scheme would be amazing. Anyways,
Robert Quinn.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have any other teams besides the Patriots?
Well, I mean, this is gonna sound weird, but hear me out. The 49ers. Outside of Nick Bosa, I believe the team had 8 sacks. Or something around the lines, because he had 15.5 or 15. No, the team had 26 sacks, 24 or 26 sacks as a whole. He had 15 or 15.5. And they need someone else on that line to help him out. Because Eric Armstead, he's like, all right. Nick Bosa's obviously elite, but outside of that, it's like, I think they have one other good defensive tackle. I just can't recall his name.
And they lost DJ Jones to Denver.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, so they don't even have him anymore.
I didn't think of them, but that's another solid spot.
Yeah.
I mentioned how we always mention the Patriots for every team, but I feel like we also mention the Ravens for a lot of these teams. And I think that's another one.
The Ravens, sorry, continue.
No, go ahead.
I was saying the Ravens and the Patriots are similar in ways that, like, they're not really similar as teams, but they're similar in that they have specific needs that, like, aren't sometimes glaring, but adding something there would be astronomical.
Right. And they've been looking for pass rush help. They met with Jason Pierre-Paul, I think, last week. Odafe Owe had shoulder surgery. Tyus Bowser had a torn Achilles last year, and David Ojabo just tore his Achilles at his pro day this year. So the first two guys, maybe I see with the hand. I see. Yeah. You always try to throw me off track by doing hand signals and pointing to the background. And
that's the fun of it.
The Ravens, they always have a knack for like stealing veteran players for cheap prices. When they got Calais Campbell they got him for the same compensation that they gave up or they got in return for Khari Willis, the kicker they traded to the Vikings, who was cut even before the season began. So it seems like one of those classic Ravens moves. As a Steelers fan, I wouldn't like it, but it makes sense.
Yeah, I think the 49ers, Ravens, Cowboys, hell, even maybe the Colts.
The Cardinals, too,
Cardinals.
I think.
Yeah, now Chandler Jones is gone. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Age has never really stopped them from acquiring a player before.
J.J. Watt.
And you can't count on his health. So
Zach Ertz.
Even Devon Kennard and Marcus Golden are like their edge defenders.
After he was traded to the Cardinals, Zach Ertz was amazing. Again, he played so well for the Cardinals. Definitely top 10 again, at least the second half of the year. Because with the Eagles, my God, did you do terrible. He wasn't getting snaps, really, though.
That's what playing with a terrible quarterback like Carson Wentz can do to a guy.
I think you're talking about Jalen Hurts.
No, I don't
No, because he did good with Carson. He actually had the best year of his career with Carson. And then last year with
way
Jalen
back in,
Hurts.
2018?
Yeah, but then he continued to do well.
Even in 2020?
I don't know. Let me look it up. Listen, I wasn't
remember.
expecting to talk about Zach Ertz. I didn't have his stats up.
I just like messing with you about Carson Wentz.
That's he played in 11 games and had 335 yards, but that's besides the point. I think that's when Dallas Goedert started to become the starter. So, anyways, Robert Quinn, send him to the Pats, 49ers, Ravens, Cowboys, maybe even the Colts. Do good there. For like a third-round pick. Every team's got one. Not every team, you know what I mean.
I will say, though, about Robert Quinn, he's one of the most, up and down.
Yeah, no, we talk
players.
about that, 2 podcast episodes ago or something?
Yeah, he'll have, 20 sacks, then he'll have 6,
7.
then 18, and he's also, even when he does have a lot of sacks, he doesn't really have a lot of pressures. Like this year, he was second in sacks, but 36th in pressures. So if he's getting to the quarterback, he's taking him down. But besides that, he's not really getting
that
there
exact
very
sentence
often.
has left your mouth before.
Listen, people have to know.
You're right. But another thing that people. So do you have anything else on Robert Quinn? Because
I think we're all tapped out on Robert Quinn.
So Khari Willis retired, Colts safety, to pursue ministry, being a minister. Good for him. I don't have much to say.
Yeah, anybody who retires to pursue something bigger than
passion.
football, if you will, it's you do you. Good for you getting out. Like we just mentioned with Stephon Tuitt last week, I think, maybe 2 weeks ago. Good for him. I'm glad he got out early, especially Khari Willis. He was one of those very physical safeties, like Bob Sanders-esque, if we're talking about the Colts. So the fact that he got out of the league after 3 years and he can hopefully preserve as much of his health as possible, it's always nice to see those type of guys get out early.
He's
now with him gone,
pick and he played well for them.
Yeah, he started 30-something games in 3 years.
33.
He had I remember against the Raiders in 2020, he had a pick six.
I do remember that play.
To seal a game. I think he was sprinting up to he was going to completely rock the running back, and he probably heard the footsteps because it bounced right off his hands and right into Willis's hands.
Was it
and
Josh Jacobs?
It might have been. It was either him or Jalen Richard. I don't remember.
Do you like Josh Jacobs?
I don't really.
He's so boring. Keep going, though.
Yeah, I didn't like the pick at the time, and just watching him play, he's just he's the most running back a running back has ever running backed, if that makes sense. He's just there. 4 yards, maybe 3 yards, and that's about it. But Willis, I also remember one time he completely destroyed Derrick Henry on a swing out pass and forced an incompletion. So he only played 3 years, but he had a couple highlight plays along the way. The Colts, they have Rodney McLeod, who's probably going to start in his place. They also drafted Nick Cross in the 3rd round, so it's not a huge loss. I think they have some pieces that can step up and replace him.
It's a loss.
Yeah, it's a loss.
I don't mean that as a obviously
co-host
Joe.
guy.
You knew how I meant that.
Your name is not Joe.
Co-host guy.
It's co-host guy.
Co-host guy. Yeah.
You have a thing? What? You have a sound effect for that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need him to
Co-host
record
guy.
a co-host guy no, so I can have one for any time you say have a smart take and anytime you have a dumb take. Co-host guy, yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I had a lot of fun compiling some sound effects on here. I had one, the Nothing Easy. We going to Game 7. I had that on here just in case, but alas, that did not come. I also had the Anything is Possible from Kevin Garnett. But anyways, Khari Willis. Let's jump to another safety, Jaquiski Tartt. He was with the 49ers last year, and he signed with the Eagles.
Career. He was with the 49ers.
I know. I was just giving the people some recency.
Jaquiski Tartt, he's a solid he's a solid starting safety. I mean, he's nothing really more than that, in my opinion. He'll get the job done, but I'm pretty sure do they still have Anthony Harris, the Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have him, who, I mean, wasn't as good as he was that one year with the Vikings. He's still not a bad player by any means, but I mean, they got good safeties. He'll come in and probably play a decent role for the old Philadelphia Eagles that are getting a lot better and scary.
They've really improved their secondary too, because we just mentioned a couple weeks ago they got James Bradbury, and they already have Darius Slay. They have Avonte Maddox, who's a good slot corner. At least. He's
underrated. He's like the definition of an underrated player. Like, people are like, oh, like AJ Brown's underrated because he's like top 7. It's like, well, yeah, but he's in the
technically,
you'll rank him like from 12 to 7 ish,
right?
That range.
Avonte Maddox is one of those underrated guys who he's underrated because people don't even know him.
Yeah.
Not that like he's ranked 12th when he should be 8th.
Yo, you want to know corner I thought was going to be good because of one preseason game?
Let's hear it.
Crevon LeBlanc.
Are you sure it's not just because of his name?
No, it's because he had a pick for us in the preseason in the end zone. That was cool.
Listen, I thought Brandon Boykin was going to be so great for the Steelers. They traded for him in 2015 just because he had the one really good year with the Eagles, and then he barely even saw the field. So.
Oh my God! Wait, that just reminded me of a video I have to make now. Want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
What happened to Malcolm Mitchell?
He got hurt.
Guy, yeah.
Okay.
No. But yeah, Jaquiski Tartt, the Eagles have a solid secondary now. They've added a lot of players this offseason. Son Reddick, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Kaiser White. Those are just the defensive players. I think Tartt's just a solid player, but I did see a couple stats, I think from at least one from Pro Football Focus. He has the 3rd lowest completion rate allowed in coverage among safeties since 2019, so that's solid. And then this other stat, the 49ers defense since 2019.
I'm going to do you a favor.
Oh,
I'm just gonna camera off while you say these stats, and I'm just gonna go.
This is literally just one stat, Joe. One stat co-host guy.
Okay.
49ers defense since 2019 with Jaquiski. You see, you threw me off. You threw me off. With Jaquiski Tartt, 39 games, 49ers gave up 18.8 points per game and 185.3 passing yards per game. Without Tartt, 16 games, they gave up 26.4 points per game and 223 passing yards per game. So big difference. Maybe that's just because he had not as great backups, but it's a difference nonetheless. There's my stat, Joe. You don't have to go dark just for...
No, I feel like I should make that a thing, just like give you your spotlight.
Like how you look at the camera and rant about players you hate, and I look at the camera and give stats.
Yeah.
And stats and stats and stats.
So, Richard Sherman signed to Amazon. I had nothing else on Jaquiski Tartt. He's like a solid player, but
that's
I
literally
can't talk
all I
about
had
him for more than 2 minutes.
I even debated putting him in the notes document to begin with.
I was surprised to put Khari Willis in. I was like...
That was when we had no news whatsoever.
Yeah.
That was like the first thing, so... But we got him a little shine, you know?
All right, so yeah, Richard Sherman signed with Amazon to be the pregame, postgame, and halftime alongside... oh my God, wait, who's it alongside? Tony Gonzalez?
I don't even know.
I think it is.
I'm going to figure out all these broadcast teams like in week 7. That's when I'll get used to it.
Yeah,
because everything is.
So that's honestly really cool. Especially, Rich Sherman, we all know, is a very smart guy. He went to Stanford. He's always been outspoken. and usually intelligently spoken, except for like when he was like going off on Michael Crabtree, because that was just like him, game day, like playoff game. Was that a playoff game, right?
Yeah, that was the NFC
NFC Championship game. Yeah, okay, just making sure. Sorry, that was a brick
So young.
moment for me. No, I know that though. I knew that. I just whatever.
I feel like you forgot that in another episode of this podcast. When we were doing the best wide receiver cornerback matchups, you completely left off Richard Sherman, Michael Crabtree.
No, because remember I made that video on my channel. That video did terrible, by the way. But for a reason, I completely forgot the best ones. So we were talking about that, and I forgot to put it in that video, and that was one of the main reasons I wanted to do it. There was another one I wanted to do. I wanted to do Calvin Johnson, Brent Grimes, but I forgot to do that. I should have done. I probably shouldn't have done it because I didn't watch it. But Andre Johnson, Cortland Finnegan. I just watched a video on that recently, actually.
Mm-hmm. The beef history.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't think I'm subscribed to him. He just comes up in my recommended a lot. He's good. I should subscribe to him though. He's a good YouTuber. Anyways, yeah, I think Rich Sherman's going to be very entertaining, honestly. I've always loved the way he speaks. I think, like I said, he's a very smart guy. He's a very smart football guy, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he has so much to offer to the, television world for the NFL.
Yeah,
I could see him doing
knew.
shows. Like, like a First Take. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's a podcast, right?
Yeah, he has a PFF podcast, actually.
Oh, really?
But yeah, we knew basically from 2012 when he first burst on the scene, he's going to get into commentating one day just with how he was. I remember he went on First Take way back, I think it was 2012, and he completely roasted Skip Bayless. And not in a angry player he did it efficiently.
Yeah, I remember that.
He tore him up.
That was great. That was one of the top moments of Skip Bayless. He sucks.
And
now Colin Cowherd's worse, but
don't even get me started on him. Anyways, but Richard Sherman, we know he's joining Amazon, but he's not officially retired. My question is he going to last longer than Jay Cutler did as a Fox analyst? Remember, Fox signed Jay Cutler as their number one analyst, and then Ryan Tannehill got hurt. So even before the season began, Jay Cutler went and became the Dolphins' starting quarterback, and then he never went back.
That year was so much pain. Oh my God. That was awful.
Remember, he did beat the Patriots.
Oh. That was probably... No, I don't... We probably won the Super Bowl that year.
That was the year you lost to the Eagles.
God damn it. That one hurt so bad.
Listen, as a Steelers fan, that was their year. Jesse James caught the ball.
No.
And Miles Jack was not down.
So Richard Sherman.
Yeah, we ran a poll on our Twitter account. It actually got some decent traction. I felt like it was sort of relevant.
I'm going to pull it up because I want to look at the replies and all that while we speak on it.
We got 34 votes, and it was, who is the best cornerback of the 2000s? And the options were Darrelle Revis, Richard Sherman, Champ Bailey, and Charles Woodson. Mm-hmm. Champ Bailey and Richard Sherman tied for last place. They got 8.8% of the vote. Charles Woodson got 14.7%. And Darrelle Revis ran away with it. He got 67.6%. We had a couple replies. Hey, who we had a little bullying of co-host guy on Twitter last week. He went to Darrelle Revis. He said they were all great, but they only one of them had an island. Solid argument. Clonecast threw out Waswa Serwanga.
I don't know who that is. Is that a real person?
Yeah. It's such an obscure pool. I was proud of him. I probably wouldn't even had a pool that good. He played, maybe 10 games with the Vikings, in 2000, 2001. I was like...
Really?
He's a Vikings fan, so he probably, it's one of those, but, I'm proud of you, Tom.
And I replied to him, I was joking. I said Namadi Asamoah, but I could not spell it to save my life, because that is a horrible name to spell.
He spelled Nmadoue
space
Asgonma. Namadu Asgonma.
Listen, you can't lie. That name is
It's a
impossible to
difficult.
spell.
I mean, I've learned it by heart, but like that's especially bad co-host guy. We also had Sam Teets. He replied. I think he had the best reply. This is basically my entire thought process, so I didn't really have anything to add. He said it depends on how you define best. Revis had the highest peak. His 2009 season was maybe the best cornerback season of all time. Charles Woodson peaked for the longest because he played for a long time and he was really good for a while. And he's also the most accomplished. Champ Bailey's resume is a mix of those previous two. Yeah, I see that. And then Richard Sherman had the greatest impact on a Super Bowl winning team. Should have been two. We all know how that game went. It's in our intro. But yeah, there was a real...
need to point that out. You used the wrong audio clip. You have to do and it's intercepted by Malcolm Butler at the goal line. But you use the other one, and it's like, it's not as cool. Keep going.
If you can find it, because I searched for at least an hour.
It's not like a public thing on YouTube?
Listen, that was the best one I could find.
It's fine.
I could find the NBC broadcast version. This was really one of the only Patriots radio broadcast versions I could find. If you can find it, we will edit.
It's fine.
It's not. It has to be perfect. But yeah, I agree with Sam. I didn't even know. I didn't even vote on this.
Oh.
I didn't even vote on this one because I'm like, do I go peak? Do I go longevity? Do I go accomplishments? Do I go Super Bowl? Like, I've gone back and forth on the Sherman and Revis debate for a while. It was a thing. Obviously, Revis had the higher peak. We all know the man zone argument, which I feel is a little overplayed, but I feel like Richard Sherman is probably the most underrated of this bunch because a lot of people disliked how much he talked. They disliked those Seahawks teams, and they really hammered home on the zone argument.
I definitely didn't like those Seahawks teams. What's weird is my roommate, like how I like the Dolphins, he likes the Seahawks.
I like the Dolphins are one of your second favorite team. The Seahawks are that for me for a while. So,
really?
I had
Should I
Russell
say
Wilson,
ex-roommate? He's moving out with his girlfriend.
Too much. I don't know if we needed all that. Don't start crying for that. But yeah, I had Russell Wilson jersey, Richard Sherman, Marshawn Lynch, Cam Chancellor.
There's a big difference between me and you. I'm not a jersey guy. You will almost never catch me wearing a jersey, except for like my roommates have like a bunch of like DHgate jerseys. Like, sometimes we'll wear them. But, like, in football jersey, you will never catch me wearing. I wore my LeGarrette Blount jersey once in 8th grade, and I don't think I wore it again. LeGarrette Blount was a dog.
Like,
you know those things where it's like, would you rather have dinner with Jay-Z or $50 million? Mine's, would you rather have dinner with LeGarrette Blount or $10 million? I would have the dinner with LeGarrette Blount. No, I wouldn't.
Oh, my gosh. Anyways. I just wanted to talk about Richard Sherman a little bit, so if you wanted to go black, you can if you will.
Oh, okay, yep. You got it, man.
I think
this is going to be, I'm just saying, I'm going to do this every time you have like a 1 minute plus stat thing. Just give me a warning. I'm doing this just to give you your full spotlight.
All right. It's my show. This is the Mike Kennedy NFL YouTube page. I think Richard Sherman will play again, but this is probably the end of his high-end play, so I think it's right to do a retrospective on the career of this first ballot Hall of Famer, which, yes, I think he will be and should be. He was good from the very moment he stepped on the field. We all know when he broke out in 2012 with that Tom Brady game, when he posted the "You Mad" meme, "You Mad, bro." But in 2011, which was the Tavares Jackson year when the Seahawks went 7-9, he was PFF's 7th highest graded cornerback even that year. That's really when the Legion of Boom really came into focus. That's when they also signed Brandon Browner. But from 2012,
Brandon Browner.
He's done some heinous things, though. So
has he? I honestly didn't know.
Yeah, you can look it up on your own time or while you're blacked out. But in 2012, Sherman was PFF's best corner. He had a 92.3 grade. He was first again in 2013, and he was third in 2014. He fell all the way to fifth place in 2015.
I'm sorry. I'm turning the camera back on before I... why did I not know this?
I figured a reaction like this was coming.
8 years? My God!
Yeah, I really liked watching him play too, but...
Played for us. Played one Super Bowl with us. Alongside Darrell Revis. That Revis sign... That was so weird, dude. We had Revis for a year. Played good for us. It made no sense.
And then just went back to the Jets.
Thanks for the ring,
I always
though.
forget that it happened.
Yeah, I mean, same.
And then Malcolm Butler was the one to win the Super Bowl when they had Revis and Browner.
Browner was the reason.
Where he was hurt, yeah.
No, I think Browner was the reason we won because he was the one who taught Malcolm Butler how to defend that play in practice. I mean, obviously Malcolm Butler made the play, but well, I mean, that's like a very documented thing amongst Patriots fans, at least. Like, there's video of us in practice of Malcolm Butler continuously getting beat on that play with Brandon Browner being the opposite, the corner next to him. So Brandon Browner was teaching him in the film room and on the field, hey, instead of that, cut in, because he was like playing, he wasn't playing physical enough on that play in practice.
I was going to say there's a similar story with the other clip on our intro, the James Harrison, well, not the same game, not same play, but the James Harrison 100-yard pick six in Super Bowl 43. In practice, the team was not running back whenever they intercepted a pass. They would just kind of pick off the pass and yeah. So Tomlin got onto him about having the whole defense run down the field and block on returns, and that's
look how that worked
why
out.
Harrison was able to go. Yeah.
All right, do you want to
Sherman,
continue
though.
with your...
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
So Richard Sherman was the only cornerback from 2006 to 2021 with 4 90-plus PFF grade seasons. He did that in 3 straight years from 2012 to 2014, and he also did it in 2019 with the 49ers. There's only 2 cornerbacks who ever did it 3 times. That's Darrell Revis and Chris Harris. And only 3 other corners did it twice. Antoine Winfield Sr., Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, and Casey Hayward.
Sorry.
Richard Sherman's 2012 season, I feel like gets underrated because he didn't even make the Pro Bowl, which is absurd because it's probably the biggest Pro Bowl snub of all time. He had 8 interceptions, 125 yards, and a touchdown. He deflected 24 passes. He had 3 forced fumbles, a 92.6 PFF grade, gave up 46.5% completion percentage and a 40.5 passer rating, and that's one of just 17 cornerback seasons with a 20-plus approximate value per Pro Football Reference, which compiles basically every meaningful stat into one. And only one of those other 17 corners didn't make the Pro Bowl, and that was Herb Adderley in 1962. So it's the rare first-team All-Pro but non-Pro Bowl season, especially in this age. Richard Sherman is also one of just 17 corners with 3+ first-team All-Pros, and only Herb Adderley, Willie Brown, Deion Sanders, Rod Woodson, and Darrell Revis have more. So he has more than Hall of Famers like Mel Blount, Mike Haynes, Lombardi, Night Train Lane, Ty Law, Darrell Green. And then focusing just on the decade 2010 to 2019, Richard Sherman had the lowest completion percentage allowed by a corner, which was just better than Darrell Revis and Antonio Cromartie, and about 12 points better than the league average. And since 2010, only the JMTD show's favorite player, Nnamdi Asomugha, was targeted less often or allowed a catch.
Want to know what's funny? I just pulled up Twitter, right? And I saw your tweet on our account about Nnamdi Asomugha, where it says, "We here at the JM Touchdown Show put respect on Nnamdi Asomugha's name at all times." I see how to spell it. That is a horrific way to spell a name. I was not wrong.
It makes a lot more sense than the way you spelled it.
Obviously, but it's difficult.
I was joking.
No, I was joking about him being better. Not the spelling. The spelling was not a joke.
There was an argument for a bit. But Asomugha was great, but he did benefit from terrible corners opposite him, drawing a lot of the targets. They had like Fabian Washington, Chris Johnson, Chris Carr, Stanford Routt, even D'Angelo Hall for a minute. But Sherman did not have that luxury. Everybody was good, so the fact that he was able to do that speaks volumes. Richard Sherman also had the lowest passer rating allowed in the decade. It was 54.0, and only 4 corners allowed lower than a 70. And I wanted to say the way people treated Sherman in regards to being a zone corner is just weird, especially when it comes to people who clearly aren't breaking down like the All-22 film every week. It was just a repeated talking point that just got beaten into the ground. Really, there's a lot of blurred lines between man and zone corners are still responsible for the outside man when he goes deep most of the time. So it's not always, he's just covering this one little zone. And I read an interview where Sherman made a great point, how we don't talk about offensive line the same way we do corners. Say you have a great pass rusher on the right side, nobody says that you should just move the left tackle to the right side to track him. You just let him continue dominating his side and send help the other way. Otherwise, you'd end up screwing with the team's chemistry and continuity of the unit as a whole. And the whole tracking thing is overblown, especially in today's age, because no corner last year played even 50% of the snaps in pure man coverage. A lot of it's just all blending together. And for Sherman's time, most of it, he played zone, but in systems that rolled the help away from him. So he was really kind of playing a lot of man out there on, dare I say, an island, even though it was technically zone because they rolled the help away. So I think he just gets a bad rap because of his mouth, really. And Joe, this is your cue.
Hey.
How's it going? Did you learn a lot of fun facts?
Yeah. I already knew Rich Sherman was good, and I like that offensive line quote.
I like how I spend a lot of time spouting all these stats and stuff. It's like, yeah, Richard Sherman, good. Thanks for...
Well, I found a funny tweet. You want me to read it?
Let's hear it.
It's
Who's
a
it
very
from?
bad tweet. It's, what's the difference between... Do you listen to Kanye or Drake?
I mean, I'm not like an avid listener.
Yeah, okay, well, it's what's the difference between Kanye's 808s and Heartbreaks and Drake's new album, Honestly Nevermind, and there's no similarities. Everything is different, but because Drake's album is terrible, 808s and Heartbreak is a very good album, but yeah.
That was your entertainment corner of the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's how it is. And well, I mean, you listed too many stats for me to like listen to all of them. You know what I'm saying?
We've already established you're not a numbers guy, so.
I mean, like when I like have to do like analytical stuff, I am. But like,
it's not the greatest on audio form.
Yeah, and I'm more of an opinion person, as we've gone over. Like, I just like to voice my opinion, my voice,
Aaron
my
Donald,
voice.
good.
Aaron Donald, good. Cameron Hayward, good. Christian Barmore, good.
Tom Brady, bad.
Tom Brady, great.
But not greatest.
All right. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Rich Sherman. I loved watching him. Honestly. I mean, I had moments where I didn't like him because, like you were saying earlier, like I was like, oh, he's like too outspoken and all that. It's like I agree at some points, but him on a television network, it's gonna be great. But as a player, Hall of Famer, obviously, no debate. One thing that I want to bring up really quick for like a minute, how Darrelle Revis didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. No 9. Crazy.
People really love Charles Woodson's interceptions and pick sixes.
You know what it is, dude? I mean, I know Woodson did win, but what I'm saying is corners are like guards for Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA. It's very similar.
Yeah.
You're right. You have to have a...
Yeah. Because, like, they'd never win. I mean, sure, we've seen Gilmore and Woodson.
Yeah, like once a decade, pretty much.
Yeah.
You have to have a tremendous season. You can't have a 20-sack guy, and you need a lot of turnovers.
Yeah. That's all. It's stupid. Because you have
And
people
even
locking down the
safety.
whole side of the field. Yeah, oh, yeah. When was the last time a safety won? Palomalo?
Palomalo, probably 2010. Yeah.
12 years ago? Stupid.
Anyways, we got one other topic we wanted to talk about. And it's
Never mind. Keep going.
No, you got something to say.
I was gonna suggest leaving this one and then the one that says after it for next week so we can have a ton of debate.
Spicy debate.
Your thoughts, though? I mean, you let me know.
I was going to say we have one more topic, which is the quiz.
That's
That's
yeah.
definitely what I was going to say.
You liked my idea. That's why he did that, guys. That's why he... All right, what's the quiz?
We've already been rolling for about an hour.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is our favorite segment. All right, Joe, we've got 2 questions.
Oh, keep going. Just get it over with.
All right, the first one should be easier, so we'll start with that one. Only 3 players.
You always say that.
At least it has fewer answers.
Okay.
Only 3 players have back-to-back
best you can
8
do?
interception seasons since 2000.
Christ. Richard
Who
Sherman.
are they? That is correct.
Charles Woodson.
Pathetic.
Nnamdi Asamoah.
You can't win.
I like. Revis? Reggie Nelson.
No.
Glover Quinn.
No.
Hall of Famers.
One of them.
Champ Bailey.
Correct.
I wanted to
You
try
got
and get
one.
people I know who had like 8 interception plus seasons recently. Now the next guy, so this guy's like not that good. He just had like a couple good years.
I'm not saying that.
Future Hall of Famer.
He's a current player.
Current player. Current. Oh my god, Xavier Howard. No?
No.
Dude, he's had like a 10 and an 8 interception season.
Must not have been back-to-back.
That was a good guess though. You can't discredit me for that. You can't even play a sound. I will not
I thought
accept
you
playing
had
a
it. I
sound
thought you
effect.
had it with how you reacted. You're going to feel so dumb when you get this.
This happens to me every time. How do you do this year?
His back-to-back 8-pick seasons are 2020 and 2021.
No way. What? Oh my god, I'm gonna... is he a safety?
Corner.
Corner, of course. Oh my god. AFC or NFC?
AFC.
Let's look... J.C. Jackson. Right?
You got it.
Oh my god.
Do you feel dumb?
Next
It's
question.
your own team. Current player.
He's not on my team anymore.
just happened.
He's a traitor. What's the Chargers who we own? We own the Chargers. The Chargers will never beat us.
All right. Are you ready for the second question?
Yes.
Minkah Fitzpatrick has 11 interceptions since 2019, which is tied for 7th in the NFL. Who are the 6 players ahead of him and
J.C.
the player
Jackson.
he's tied with? J.C. Jackson. You got
Darius
it.
Slay.
Darius Slay. That is incorrect.
Oh, okay. Jalen Ramsey. Since when?
Since 2019.
Okay.
So that's incorrect.
That's the best
Oh,
you
really?
can do.
Okay. Not Jair. He doesn't get a lot of picks. Jair. Oh my god.
I was hoping I could slip you up.
Not Trayvon Diggs because he had... wait, yeah, Trayvon Diggs. He had 11 this year.
Yeah. Yeah, he had 14, which is 3rd best.
Oh, Xavier?
He's second with 16 picks.
Tyrann Mathieu.
Tyrann Mathieu had 13.
Try again. Try again.
3 more.
Harrison Smith.
Harrison Smith is not one of them.
Jesse Bates.
Jesse Bates is...
Pathetic.
God damn it. Oh my god.
I did not mean to click that, but it rings true.
Quandre Diggs. He's randomly gotten like 5 picks every year.
I was gonna say, did you like look that up or something? Because yes, that is correct.
No,
Quandre
but
Diggs
I
has
know
13.
like he's like so like
Pathetic.
just like randomly gets a decent amount of picks every year. I'm gonna go the Bills safety duo.
That is incorrect.
Both of them not on it.
Neither one.
It's crazy. Justin Simmons.
Justin Simmons, 14 picks. Yeah,
Try
one more, and it's
again.
the guy who's tied with Minkah with 11 picks.
Is it James Bradbury? Darius Leonard, low key. It's not like Kenny Moore. I said it's not. I said it's not.
He does have 10, though, so he's right behind.
Oh, really? Buda Baker gets like half a pick a season.
This is not the answer, but I can't get over how his name is literally listed as Jack Rabbit Jenkins now. I'm just looking at the list below.
Oh, okay. Kevin Byard.
That is Kevin Byard with 11 interceptions, so congratulations.
I actually didn't struggle that bad with that one.
Sometimes it's easier when there's more options, because, you know...
You can just start saying names. The Quandre Diggs one, that one was crazy.
I was impressed with that one.
But because like I don't really like pay attention to him, but like I know that like he just randomly gets interceptions. Like how many did he have?
He had 13 in the past 3
Yeah.
years.
He gets like 5 a year almost. That's like 4 and a third, but you know. Well, I didn't do bad. The J.C. Jackson one on the first quiz was annoying because that just happens to me.
That was pretty embarrassing, not gonna lie.
Co-host
And I would even go as far as to say that your performance on that first quiz
Well,
Anyways.
before I keep getting bullied, I'm going to end the show here. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 10 of the JM Touchdown Show, hosted by yours truly, Joe of Fanatics Sports, and Mike Kennedy of Mike Kennedy NFL. If you are interested in any more podcasts, they come out usually weekly. Why do I always get thrown off? Like you're one to talk. I mean,
that's like our motto for the show is 2 guys who always get thrown off by the other one.
Yeah.
They come out weekly, you were saying.
They come out weekly with usually clips. Sometimes life gets a little busy and that can't happen, but you know how it is. This is a random day we're recording just because we need to wait for the finals. And yeah, hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you guys for listening or watching, depending what you do. Mostly listen, but yeah, that's all I got.
I'll just say, obviously, always say follow us on social medias, but really the only one we're active on right now is Twitter. So JM Touchdown Show is
TikTok. I don't even know why we made that. I am not doing
One day we'll get around to it. Probably not, but we'll see. No. You know, it's up there. You can give us a pity follow if you want. But yeah, Twitter's the best place to reach us. It's the off season for the NFL and now the NBA too, so topics might be a little scarce. So if you ever have a suggestion you want us to talk about, questions,
tweet at either one of us or at the show.
Yep. If you have something you want to say, maybe if you want to guest on the show, we could see if we could get that to happen. We've had a couple.
Don't get optimistic though. So we were supposed to have a guest a little bit ago, but
listen, he's high above us. You know, I'm talking like any of our actual fans who have listened to the show.
Oh, I gotcha.
I know Maddie mentioned if we ever want to talk crap on the Seahawks, she'd be down to join. I know my friend
I don't really
Vinny
know who that
also-
is, but
I think she followed you, so you need to start following my friends back, co-host guy.
my following to follower ratio is already so tremendously bad.
So what's it matter at this point, you know?
Yeah.
The only way to grow is to have solid mutuals, you know?
Yeah.
Vinny, he likes talking NFL history. Maybe he can join one time. Maybe Clonecast, JMTD
That's
show.
NFL history. That's when I will just black screen.
That's like when you're unavailable. That'll be when that happens. But yeah, anybody wants to participate in any way, let us know. Joe's over here vibing music. That's all I got. Everybody have a good day.